Sea. So the war that the Axis of Resistance has been promising for years is finally upon us. And the way I look at it, they're going to win this war strategically with the four of them. Let's look at it. Iran, direct U.S.-Israeli strikes on Tehran. Iran is retaliating with massive missile salvos. Lebanon, Israeli ground forces inside Lebanon. Hezbollah launching deep strikes into Haifa, Tel Aviv. Yemen, the Houthi missiles targeting southern Israel vow to maintain holy jihad until regional liberation. Iraq, sustained drone missile attacks on U.S. bases in Erbil and Baghdad. Militia alignment with Iran. The Iraqis are destroying U.S. bases inside of Iraq. Finally, they're winning the war that took the start in 2003 of Bush. Then, what's more scary about this, though, is that the Houthis are shooting in and saying this is a holy jihad. And Iran is saying that they don't want this war to be over. They don't want a peace treaty. They only want it to be over when Israel is demilitarized and the U.S. is absolutely out of the Middle East. So, for a lot of people who said that the Axis of Resistance was a coward, I think 2 years ago when Israel ransacked Syria and Lebanon and killed a lot of people from Hezbollah, killed their main leader, Ansarah, and all these guys. This is the Axis of Resistance revenge now. They're in the middle of a war. They're losing people. Their countries are being decimated. But for the first time, we're looking at Tel Aviv, Haifa, and we're seeing rubble in Israel. And on top of that, we're seeing trillions of dollars of bases in America absolutely destroyed to the point where UAE and Oman and these countries will never invite America back. So what the Axis of Resistance has been promising, even as far back as 1979, when the Shah was kicked out of Iran, and in 1983, 82, where the Israelis took over Lebanon and killed people, and then uh, at the same time killed millions of Iranians through the help of Saddam Hussein and chemical weapons. We've seen that the Axis of Resistance, which has been promising its revenge and promising to liberate Palestine and to get rid of the Israeli U.S. hegemony, now it's at a head. Palestine is still in the strong grips of Israel, but the good two signs we've seen: U.S. has gotten evicted from the Middle East with all of its ships and everything, and for the first time, Israel is defenseless to Iranian missiles, and now you're getting missiles from Yemeni and from Hezbollah, and within Iraq, they've held things down. American embassies, American bases destroyed. So this is a real war, and my argument is the reason they will not lose this war is because this is their territory, this is their homeland, and they have everything to lose. America has nothing to lose. If they lose this war, they'll just go back home. What are your thoughts, Falabi? Yeah, you're on mute.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that this has basically transitioned from a bilateral conflict to a multi-front war. You know, the Iran war has evolved from direct confrontation with US and Israel. It's now a regionalized conflict involving multiple actors. Yeah, the groups that align with Iran, especially Hezbollah and the Houthis in Yemen, have now opened secondary fronts against the Israel military. So this reflects Iran's long-standing doctrine of bringing hegemony to its knees, basically, the US and Israeli hegemony. And the way it's working is that they're using their axis of resistance strategy. Iran's regional network, that is the Hezbollah, Houthis, and the Yemenis, they are now partially activated, not fully activated, but partially activated. They have declared openly that they are coordinating with Iran and other allies. They've launched missile strikes on Israel. And the way they are doing it, they're not making it full blown, it's calibrated. They are doing it is like in phases. They step it up a little bit and they get it even until it becomes a full scale war. And if you look at the Yemenis, the way they are doing it more geographically in the sense that they have introduced some southern pressure against Israel and especially the global trade routes, the Red Sea, the Babel Mandeb Strait. You know, these are strategic points that they're using against Israel, especially for the free flow of trade. And if you look at it, they have attacked some global trade routes in those areas. Then you look at Hezbollah itself, they have engaged more directly, intensely, you know, and they have basically pulled Lebanon into this war. So they have in no way hidden their intentions in supporting Iran, but they're doing it in a very systematic way. But this eventually will lead to a full-scale, assault on Israel and US, basically.
Yeah, well, if you look at the way the war is going, okay, there's a coordination because now Israel is being hit from the south through through Ansar Allah, Yemen.
Yes,
Okay,
Antoine Allah.
they, they're getting hit centrally, straight through the gut by Iran. Then I don't call it Lebanon because Lebanon is not run by Hezbollah. Lebanon is run by an ass kissing Israel lover or who's afraid of Israel. But Hezbollah now has risen back. 2 years ago, the Jewish Israeli people were sending. Remember, I followed. They were sending cell phones into Lebanon that were killing
Yeah,
people when they
cell
turned.
phones to explode.
That was
Yeah,
so Hezbollah disappeared, and Israel said, "Oh, they've gone." Which is why when they attacked Iran, they didn't have the fact. They didn't realize that Hezbollah would declare war. As soon as they attacked Iran on March 2nd, Hezbollah said, "We're in the game now." Okay, and they came back, which means they were staying below. Because the reason Hezbollah was staying on the underground was to make sure that this time the Mossad couldn't infiltrate them. Okay, so you're getting attacked by that corner. Then Iraq is making sure that the U.S. has no presence there. So what you're looking at is this is not a nationalistic war. This is not Iran fighting Israel and Lebanon fighting Israel and Yemen. No, these are all people who see themselves as one collective part because they're neighboring. Some of them, a lot of them are Shia, but a lot of them are Sunni. But they actually see themselves as a unified
front, like a unified
yeah,
front.
front, Middle Eastern front. They're not, except for the Arab nations, which are belong to the U.S., but they're the actual resistance to America and Israel spreading. I don't want to say maybe they want to get rid of Israel now, but they definitely don't want Israel to go beyond where it has, and they don't want to go beyond its lines. I think it was his 1960 lines or 19 whatever. And on top of that, Iran hasn't said this, but the Yemenis have said this and Hezbollah have said this, that this war is not just going to be over when they're sovereign. It's only going to be over when Israel gives up its occupation of Palestine too. So that's how far this war is going to go. This is going to go very far, and it's coming at the right time where the U.S. is falling apart economically and can't afford to keep its presence there. Once they're gone, Israel is going to be in big trouble. And if I were Israel, once the U.S. taps out of this war because of economic reasons, if they don't want these people to close in on them and absolutely wipe them out. They're going to have to demilitarize and let go of Gaza and also let go of the East and West Bank parts and stop encroaching and sending settlers, which is what caused all of this. All of this is actually caused all of this war is actually caused by two things: the systematic genocide, which goes back to the 1940s of Palestinians, and then also Israel's goal to take everything from Gaza all the way to Syria, Lebanon, and beyond Iran. They want to control the whole area. It's just not possible. We've shown that you can't win a war of aggression against people taking their land from them. They'll die to the last man. We saw it in Vietnam, we saw it in Iraq, we saw it in Afghanistan, and so now we're seeing it in Iran, where they don't care if they die because they have nothing left to lose. If Iran does a peace treaty, they will still be killed by Israelis and people the way that you see them doing to Palestinians. So they're going to fight down to the last man, and they've got 92 million people. They're the heart of the whole resistance. But then when you've got Iraq, Iraq is also a very powerful country. The problem with Iraq is that it's been splintered. But once Iraq unifies and Iran unifies and Hezbollah takes over Lebanon, then the only weak link now is Syria, because we also know Syria is held by al-Jalani, he's a terrorist. But there's also some unsettling stuff here. So this is a grand war, but the numbers are on the side of the axis of resistance. What are your thoughts on Falabi? And the reason the
Yeah,
numbers on their side is because you've got Iraq and Iran together have almost more than 200 million people. Then you've got Hezbollah. Israel is outnumbered, and America is too far away. America's 10,000 miles away. They have to send ships to fight them. What are your thoughts on Falabi?
yeah, you're absolutely right. And the fact that Iraq is involved in this is very, very strategic in the sense that the Islamic resistance, along with there's a group they call Kataib Hezbollah. They're basically working along with Iraq to intensify their role. And since February, over 500 attacks have been launched from Iraqi soil against US and Israeli targets. So basically,
Yeah,
if you look at this, this is like the way they spread this thing is going to make it very, very difficult for the US and Israel, to fight against them because they've not become like a hydra. There's so many heads. and they're hitting
Yeah.
them from different directions. And if you look at this,
And
like you said, there are splinter groups in Iraq. Most of them are militias, basically, and they're working in tandem with Houthis. And the Houthis themselves have welcomed them as divine reinforcement, and they have
yeah,
stated their primary goal as crushing the head of the US forces. So it
yeah.
appears that there's coordination, there's organization, and there's unity.
And here's the thing: it's decentralized. We don't know who the head of this thing is. We know that Iran is really leading all this, but even within Iran, we don't know who's. This is a decentralized system that's been built for 30 years, in which you don't know where the center of command is. There is no center of command. It's actually an
No, no, no,
algorithm
no.
that actually
There's no central command. I think it's the
there's
way
no.
Iran
So that's what makes it
operates.
dangerous.
That's the way
That
Iran
means that means
operates.
it's an ideology that has been built, and the reason they're winning is plain and simple. Even the Houthis have ballistic missiles.
Yes,
Iran
yes.
has hypersonic missiles. This is actually missile warfare and missile defense, and it's going to win. Now, when we say that Iran's going to beat Israel and the U.S., we're not saying that they're going to kill more people or they're going to destroy them. What they're going to do is they're going to make it too painful for them to continue trying to occupy them. That's what I mean by victory. It means that Iran, I mean, U.S. and Israel will fail to occupy. They will retreat and they will let go of Palestine. That's what we mean by victory. It doesn't mean that they're going to come and kill more people. They're going to lose more lives, but they're going to come out shining afterwards because they died for the liberation of their region. That's all I have to say. What are your last thoughts, Father? You
Yeah, so
take us out.
basically, I think the strategy of developing ballistic missiles and drones over the years has been a long-term strategy of not trying to be equal with Western powers in developing high-tech military capabilities. Rather, their strategy has been asymmetric from day one. Wear them down with cheaper munitions, make them waste money, drain them, more like a boa constrictor strategy. And it's working because it's been a plan that they've had in place for a very long time. And if you look at it now, if you look at the cost implication of this war to the US and Israel, it's humongous and it continues to increase. So I think it's something they've been working on for a very long time, along with all these their allies, the Houthis, the Hezbollah, and all of them. So this is not looking good for Israel. Israel is the one I pity the most.
Yeah, Israel's going to be like, but Israel wants this war more than anybody. America's only helping Israel because it's their small cousin. We help you, cousin. We help you, cousin. My cousin gonna get his ass whooped. All right, take us out,
It's
Falabi.
been another brilliant show. We've been discussing the ring of fire that has surrounded Israel to bring down basically the forces of hegemony. And from Mustafa and myself, we'll be back again. Bye for now.
Nice one. Let me tell you something. We even had to do research on how they've been able to develop orchestrated attacks with no center of command. That means this thing goes deep. It's almost like a religion. It means they've been working on this thing for years. You get my point?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, sure. It's
Yeah.
like a doctrine, and everybody's
It's a
basically
document.
in line with
And
it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's an
it's crazy,
ideology.
man. Yeah. All right, so we're talking so yeah, we're done for today. So you've done 32,
Yes.
32 shows. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.